welcome to our guests to Influential Dental, where we are going to have a little fun, candid discussion with Dr. Jedediah Huss. Welcome to the show. I'm going to give you a little introduction though before you speak. So because I have had the opportunity to work with you, I just want to share with our audience that you have been named one of the world's top 100 doctors. You have founded the Restored Smiles Ranch. He just had this look, if you're not watching the video, like, was I? How about that? He is a top instructor in multiple places. He owns multiple practices. And I'm going to let him give an additional introduction. Okay, just a little bit of your background. But I'm here with Michal Keeter, who's co-hosting today with us, and we're going to get a little existential, talk about your career, Dr. Huss. And so welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
See you, Dr. Huss.
Excited to be here with you too.
All right. All right. So Michal, let me ask you, how long have you known Dr. Huss?
I may have known him longer than you. It's been probably, a good 10 years at least, Dr. Huss? 15?
Yeah, it's probably been 10.
Yeah.
Been a while.
We've got to spend quite a bit of time together with your training centers, working with other DSOs, and got to experience a nice ride in a Corvette doing cookies in a parking lot one evening with you before you had a nice steak dinner. So,
wait, doing cookies? Is this like a new thing? I just want to know how you do cookies.
I mean, that sounds a little suspect. Maybe he's thinking of donuts.
Oh, donuts.
Not cookies.
Donuts.
Wait, were you doing cookies or donuts?
Some brownies? No. It was donuts in a Corvette.
Okay, so yeah, so you were
too large.
And I was not driving.
There was not a lot of extra space in that Corvette, but we had a good time.
Okay, so you were literally doing donuts in the road because you're one of those kind of drivers.
Accidentally.
Okay, well, it's definitely not cookies.
He's a very good driver, though, so at least I experienced that, and a phenomenal dentist as well.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit more about your background. How'd you end up wanting to be a dentist? I know you're, a diplomate and all kinds of things. I mean, your credentials go on. And we're going to talk a little bit about Restored Smiles Ranch today, too, because that's kind of cool what you did, because it's really unique. But tell us about your background and how you ended up here in this space.
Well, I originally, my dad's on the medical side. So my dad's an OBGYN. He's great at what he does. And I always kind of wanted to be a doctor. I like the business aspect, but I didn't want to be on call all the time. And I didn't want to wake up at 3 a.m. and go to the hospital. And, at the time he had a pager all the time. So I just, dentistry seemed like a great fit. There was a lot of artistry. There's a lot of working with your hands. And then you can still do the doctor-patient office deal. So I thought dentistry was a great fit. I went to dental school at USC, graduated in 2011. Always kind of liked surgery, but you kind of really don't know what you like until you get, maybe 2 or 3 years experience, in real life out of dental school. Some people do. I think a lot don't. I wasn't sure. I do like a little bit of everything, kind of, just hobby wise. And so general dentistry was a great fit, but I have, created a pretty strong niche with surgery. And I really just fell in love with implant surgery and extractions and grafting and sinus lifts and that aspect of it. And so I really kind of leaned that way. I took my first implant course, the first year I graduated. And then just started to look for proper case selection and take a lot of courses, take a ton of CE, ask a lot of people about things, and it just kind of really took off.
So you have kind of like some of the doctors, the feedback of doctors who go through your courses, they don't talk about necessarily they get the clinical skills, hands down, no question, and you're one of the best in the industry. But one of the things that they all come out saying is that they've gained a tremendous amount of confidence that they didn't have prior to going through your courses. Why is that? What makes you unique and how you bring out the confidence in other doctors?
So that's the one word. That's the biggest purpose of our course and of me teaching it is to help the best that we can to the doctors that we teach to gain confidence. Because if there's one word out there, it's confidence. Because if they're not confident, they don't do anything. whatever they learn, it doesn't translate to their office. Whatever they purchase in order to improve their patient care and new techniques in the office, it doesn't progress. So confidence is huge. And so, after taking so many CE and courses, and there were some great ones out there, it just, I started to get a little less from them. And, there's always some that, people kind of get up to talk for themselves. And, you're traveling a long ways, you're spending money, and they're talking about their last summer vacation with their kids. And to be honest, I don't care. So, I just thought that myself and our company and my team could bring just a much easier way that would translate to better learning and more common sense and more learning that just is more relatable. And so the doctors
Right.
can really relate with what we talk about and what we teach. It's evidence-based, but it's real common practice. Like, I'm in the office working like everybody else Monday through Thursday, and then I teach on Fridays and Saturdays. And so what we teach just translates really, really well to the office, and they understand it well. It's very relatable and simplistic. And so how we
So
teach helps inspire these doctors to do better and to see the simplicity, but also have a good foundation to build confidence themselves.
yeah, so of course, I want to ask you about your last summer vacation with your kids now. But Michael, you've got to have some good questions for Dr. Huss. Go
Yeah,
ahead, jump in.
and I've been with dozens of courses with Dr. Huss. Like we said, we go back 10 plus years. I've seen them operate. I've spent some time with them over dinner. I think where it starts for me, what differentiates Dr. Huss and the dozens of courses I've been at and helped with is the passion behind it, that he truly cares. And you can see that from day one. A lot are clinical. He's unique in the fact that he can obviously do amazing things clinically. But again, the way he relates to the people at his courses, the way he works with vendors, that's how I got to know him. And he treats everyone with utmost respect and generally wants people to succeed. And that's what I really like about Dr. Huss and just how he is as a person, but also how he teaches his courses. And I think that's more of what dentistry needs and what we're talking about in our podcast about, influencing dentists, through good work as well as being a mentor. And that's how Dr. Huss comes across as not only a colleague, but a mentor. And he speaks to, not at. And so I got plenty of stories, but again, just the fact that he's real.
Okay,
And
so wait, now hold on. So you can't just throw that in and then go back to business. So give us one really good story. Do you have something else besides the donuts, or
Be
can you
nice,
ask
Mike. Be
Dr. Huss
nice.
money?
no, I mean there are a few stories, but no, I'll just go back to my original comment about getting there early, staying there late, making sure everyone in the office is fed, has food, is spoken for and with. So, and that's what I appreciate. Like I said, he makes sure that everyone that comes to the courses or is part of any of his surgeries is talked with. So no, I'll be fair. They're just silly stories, but
Okay,
he's just a good guy, and that's I guess what I wanted to share.
yeah, okay, so I agree. I mean, he's a good guy, no question. But let's talk about Restored Smiles Ranch for a second, okay? Because this place, and it aligns with what you're saying, Mike. But at the end of the day, I mean, he brought it. I was there when he was decorating, and we're trying to pick out the chairs. This is not your normal, ordinary place, right? Us, like, listen, this. You have to check out Restored Smiles Ranch if you haven't been there because it's on the Central Coast. I'm going to let you tell a little bit about it. But we were shopping together at some point. I was looking at furniture with you, and this is like living room, in the middle of the most beautiful countryside there is. So tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind this retreat style spot, and let's share with our listeners so they know how amazing and different this is.
Yeah. So, I mean, we started Restore Smiles in 2018. So, it has been around for 10 or 20 years, but it's been around for a fair amount of time. And we teach courses, 3 weekends out of the month for, 6 years. So it's a lot of courses. And we were originally doing them in like hotels and labs, like you see in a lot of other places. And, it just kind of got old after a while, and I wanted something unique, different, something that's more reliable on our side. And something that could just be a really nice getaway for the docs dentistry is a lot more stressful than people think. There's a lot on the plate on these docs. Some of them are young, some of them just getting married, some of them, are single moms. There's a lot of stuff going on, and there's a lot of people to please, and nobody likes the dentist. So there's that on top of it.
I like my dentist.
We just wanted something that was unique, a nice getaway, something that was super easy to learn in. A lot of the doctors that are a little, shyer, less vocal, they seem to be a lot more relaxed there. It really is it's in a home. It's very homey. So it's just an incredible getaway and unique way to learn and to start to incorporate life-changing techniques in your practice. And so, it's on 20 acres. We converted the house to a teaching facility. They're sitting on couches, which is more of a challenge for me, right? Because I got to make sure I'm not boring to make them pass out and fall asleep, which is good. And we do lectures in the morning, and we do the whole afternoon is all hands-on. So it's just a ton of meaningful hands-on exercises with repetition, which oftentimes you just don't get enough of at courses. It's not repetitive enough, and there's not enough hands-on exercises. So we have stuff that really translates well. So they have a great base before they start to go and do live surgery, if that's what they want to do. And it's not just for beginners or intermediates, but there's a lot of advanced doctors that come as well. But probably about 75% of the docs are kind of, beginner, intermediate. Most are general dentists, but we've had specialists come as well. We just had a periodontist and an oral surgeon come to our last courses, where we went over bone graft and blood draws.
Yeah, so I'm just going to add in there. So this is really niche. So, this podcast is brought to the listeners by American Dental Institute. They're on the opposite coastline in Orlando. It's very high tech, very different. You're high tech as well too, but very different, completely unique spaces. And you're going to be, I know, speaking for them as well. And I'm sure that there's going to be a lot more collaboration in the future. But your space is, you literally bring in local barbecue, the local wine tasting. It's a different experience, right? So it's like all of these different institutes, these different places people can go are unique, but only a few stand out to me. And so ADI is one of them, and Restore Smiles is Ranch is one of them for sure.
And what I like is
we get a lot of Texas people that are really proud of their barbecue until they have our barbecue, and then they're like, oh wow, there's real barbecue in California.
Throwing it down from Central Coast. I like it. Yeah. Well, what I like as well, real quick, Julieanne, if I can say, is I've been to a couple of courses at the ranch as well. And again, Dr. Huss also encourages staff to come, and again, also other vendors to intermingle. But the big thing is afterwards as well, where a lot of the conversations take place on how the day goes, whether it's you having a DJ there, I remember one time, and or to sit around on the deck and just really talk. And that's where I think a lot of the learning takes place, where the people talk about how their day went and how their sutures were and how their surgical techniques were. And it's all emphasized, not only during the clinical part of it, but after hours as well. So it's very comprehensive and very fun. And again, for a lot of the courses I've been to, it's not that. And that's what I appreciate, just the learning environment. It's low key, it's very intense, but it's also very, very personal. So
So let's get to you personally. All right. So since we're trying to figure out your secret to success, so tell us a little something like what's been something that has really had an impact on your career as the person being educated, perhaps, or the person who's decided to go a certain path with being an educator. Has there been one profound moment or time in your life where somebody had a tremendous effect on, how you decided to make a new decision or do something different, or anything that's had an effect?
I just think, I didn't know. For people that really know me, I like to be really good at what I do, but I like to do it kind of, in the back of the room, and I don't like to be, on stage or in front. I've spoken in a lot of places and been main podium speakers, but that's, it's not my cup of tea. I don't prefer that. I just kind of do it to make more brand awareness of what we do so we can teach and affect more people. But I guess I didn't realize how much I would enjoy it and how rewarding it's been and how impactful I can be in these doctors' lives. And so I guess just helping people learn to love dentistry again, for ones that are, have been in it for 30, plus years that have taken our courses. and ones that, are coming out of school and just maybe they don't think they can do certain things, and they get really inspired, and they turn their practice around. There's cash flow negative practice that turn cash flow positive, incorporating a lot of these things very quickly. We had one doctor, the sweetest doctor. She had just come up from Mexico and getting her license here in California. And she had such a big impact just the first day at Restore Smiles Ranch. And to be honest, sometimes when you're speaking, you don't know how well it's getting through to the docs. You're like, I'm my worst own critic. So, sometimes I'm like, okay, are they paying attention? Are they getting it? Do they even, care what I'm saying? And this doctor, it was so impactful to her. She wrote me this really long, sweetest letter. She brought me a gift on the second day, and she was in tears saying how much she needed that, how impactful that was, and how inspirational it was for her to continue to get her license and to incorporate the things that she was learning. And I was like blown away in shock that I had that type of impact after one day. And there's just things over the years that they message me on Instagram, or they shoot me a text, or they tag me on a case that they did on doctors that never thought they would have the confidence to do it on their own in the office. Yeah, they could do it at a course. Yeah, they could do it at live surgery when somebody's looking over their shoulder, but had no idea they could do it regularly in their office with confidence, and then deal with minor complications and continue to make good sound decisions that benefit their patients. So by far, that is the absolute most rewarding thing, is seeing the success of these doctors and the smile on their face, and how much more rewarding their career is after taking our courses. I feel like we just have a very small impact on their implant journey. They're the ones that do all the work, but to be able to be a part of that journey just in a little bit, I think means the world to me, to be honest.
Yeah, so interesting. So I'm curious, because you instill confidence in people, and I always think that we're on our own journeys, kind of learning as we go as well. So what do you do when you stumble and you have lack of confidence in some area of your career or your life? Is there something in particular that you consciously do to kind of overcome that? Or how do you go about it? How do you teach that, if, how do you apply it?
That's a great question. I mean, there's some great truth in fake it till you make it. There's some great truth in that. But you know what? Suck it up and move on. We all have hard times. We all have struggles. We all have trials in our life. We all got somebody that's going through cancer that's in our family. Some type of cancer is sadly everywhere. Everyone has problems. So if you realize everyone has problems, everyone has it worse than, or somebody always has it worse than you. So really, it's not about you; it's about everybody else. And if you just look to serve everyone else, your problems become a lot smaller. So,
Well, I'm going to comment on that too, Dr. Huss, because I've seen it as well. And I agree, you can't necessarily do it on yourself as well. So you surround yourself with good, positive people as well, right? Whether it's an associate, whether it's your team, your staff, whether it's vendors or companies you work with. I think all boats can rise, and you shouldn't rely on others other than yourself, and to be vulnerable to say, hey, you know what? I don't know, but you know what? I'm going to go get educated and get better so I can do full arch, because I don't now, but I'm going to go to the better courses like yours. Or you know what, I need to hire someone that can be a closer, because I want to practice clinically, but I need someone to help close treatment plans. So you find that person. So I don't think in dentistry necessarily you can do it by yourself. I think you definitely need to surround yourself with others, and others can either mentor or inspire you as well. Because I find that every day, even now, that I look for mentors and people that inspire me to be better. And I know you and how you are as a person, that I know you appreciate others that will uplift you and uplift those patients.
yeah, your surroundings are huge, and you have to, everyone's, a lot of people say this: you have to invest in yourself. It takes time and it takes money. And there's another saying, it takes money to make money. So you got to put some time and some value in your learning and your education. Dental school is great, but it is such a tiny base to work off of, and dentistry moves so fast, and there's so many aspects within dentistry, especially general dentistry. So if you really want to get good at what you do, and the better you are, the more you're going to enjoy your job on a daily basis. You'll sleep better. You'll have less stress because you will be better at what you do. So when complications arise, you'll be able to properly communicate that to the patient in a matter of confidence and actual knowledge rather than like, I don't know what happened and feel bad about something, even though maybe you did everything you were supposed to. So, absolutely. But you gotta invest in yourself, and it takes time and it takes money. And to be honest, relative to how much you get in return, it's very, very little.
Yeah, I love it. Well, and you said a couple of things. We're sort of with this podcast really trying to get to the heart of who people are that are influential, and we're bringing on we have a guest list, I don't know, a mile long of amazing humans that are coming on here, and you're one of our preliminary guests, so it's really cool to have you on. And then we know you so well personally, but you said something about people having problems, like some, I know you just went through some major stuff in your life, I know Mike's going through some stuff in his, I just went through some, and all related to the same thing. You mentioned cancer as an example, but not everybody is getting through it easily. We know that there are a lot of people emerging speaking about burnout prevention, how to overcome depression, a lot of these topics that are finally open in the industry. So just chime in on that a little bit. Like, what's been your experience related to any of that? I mean, you always seem happy, so you obviously love what you do. But I mean, are you perfect? Are you really
I
perfect,
don't know if
Dr.
I'm
Huss?
always happy, but starting with me as a guest, it's definitely going to be up from here from you guys. So, um, no, it's just, I mean, you just really have to do your best to serve others. I mean, I stay pretty busy. There's not a lot of idle time. What is it? Idle time is the devil's workshop. So, on Sundays, my family and I, we go to church. We've got our faith that we believe strong in, and I have a lot of meetings and a lot of people that I serve. That helps make up for a lot of my shortfalls. And whether it's going to church or whether it's somebody else doing a hobby or meditating or going to the beach or going on walks or exercising. Everyone has their thing that can help, but you got to make time for yourself. You got to make time for yourself, take a step back. It's healthy. And I think more and more people are talking about it. Those people, work 7 days at your office. You're asking for an early retirement. So you got to make time for yourself and just you know look for opportunities to do service. There can't there's not enough that can be said about doing service, whether it's a community service project, whether it's go donate blood, do something for someone else, and your problems would become less. Doesn't mean your problems are going away, but you'll be able to handle them better because you're going to be more empathetic serving others that are in a much worse predicament.
But also to have fun, because I know he has fun, and you have to have fun as well.
Have to have
I
a
do believe you have to serve, you have to increase your skill set in your craft, but have fun. I know he rides motorcycles, he's done that for years. I know he likes to go on different vacations, he likes to laugh, he likes to have fun. So I want to reiterate that as well, that I know our guests, including Dr. Huss, they're very well rounded and they like to have fun. And I think once you can have yourself grounded and enjoy yourself, others, and you profess that, then others will be able to pick up on that and not, work 7 days a week. And that's their identity, that they need to have a balance and can be successful in all three.
Yeah, so you're right. You do have to have fun, but look at how many people in this industry who are not having fun. So I feel like the more that people open up about this topic, the more what we're seeing is that people just need to know they're not alone,
Yeah.
and so oftentimes we see people who are so successful and like Dr. Huss as an example, and we're like, what's their secret, right? But what he's saying is the service piece, and I totally agree with it, is that the more we take the focus off ourselves and put it onto other people outside, I think, of the dentistry itself, right? Because people can practice and they're serving, yes, but it's a job on so many levels at the same time. And there has to be another area. And sometimes that's self-serving. You got to serve yourself in all
Right.
of that.
So to piggyback off of what Mike said, and that's another thing that's very unique about our courses and our teaching style they are very fun. And we just got a few reviews the other day from our attendees from our last course, and they specifically mentioned that in their comments, because you got to have fun. If it's not fun, why are we even there? Why are we doing it? Like, it has to be fun. And so, we want people to bring their A game, be ready to be coached and learn, and we'll learn from each other, and whatever great things they bring, we're just going to make them that much better. But we do it and we have fun doing it. We make people laugh. We're light. Everyone, including myself, we check our ego at the door. If something, is done that, frankly sucks, we very nicely use it as a teaching tool for everyone. And we do that for everybody, whether they have a lot of experience or not. And people learn.
It's not all fun, because I do know you expect the highest. You push your students, and that's okay. And for me to say that, you expect them to do well. If you're going to put in the time, you should expect more out of you. So the whole work hard, play hard, I think is applicable. But I do know you as a person, know how you teach, and you teach well. But it's not, you're not going to Club Med, right? You're going there to learn dentistry and to do well by your craft, so you can go home and do well in your practice and make money and see more patients and treat more patients better. But you can do it, like you said, while having fun. So you can expect more out of you clinically, but you can also expect more out of yourself to enjoy it.
Yeah, and so let's look at Restore Smiles Ranch for a second. Personally, this was a passion project for you. You used to ride motorcycles on a track there, and I mean, you have a lot of personal touch points. And oftentimes, when I'm talking with doctors, they're trying to come up with a brand, for example, or something, and they have no personal connection to what they're doing. And you have it intertwined in every area. And when you show up there, you feel it. It's like there is a sense of community, there's a sense of personal, touch points in it. And then you exude it, but you've really brought to life a dream that you had, right?
Yeah. One thing you mentioned specifically that we've been trying to build, and I think we've done well with a lot of our groups, is community. So that's another one that the doctors mentioned, is we really try to build a community and to make sure that everyone also cares for one another when they're there. So a lot of groups that we create a group text. And some group texts, I'm not a fan of group texts personally, but I have a ton of them on my phone. And they add a lot of benefit to these doctors. Some use them from years that have taken my course years ago. And they share their cases, they share their successes, their failures, and it helps motivate one another. And they ask a lot of questions and they learn more that way. So some are more vocal than others, but it's really about creating that community and an area where they feel like they can share, and they learn continually after the course. I mean, months to years after the course. And so the more people that are engaged and the more effort they put into it, the more they get out of it.
Yeah, I love that. There's so many things that I can say about how you've gone about that. And, I mean, you're pretty influential on Instagram. Let's just take that as an example. What's your secret there? Is it because you built it from the ground up like that, or what's your story? Like, everybody wants a big following, And by the way, what is your Instagram handle so everyone can follow you?
It's at Restored Smiles.
Okay, perfect.
At Restored Smiles. So
yeah. So what's your secret to influence?
Yeah, I mean, there's no secret, and to be honest, depending on what the metrics are on Meta and Facebook and Instagram, that's definitely changed over the years. But I think when we started it, it's about having good content and just being genuine. I think that has a lot to do with it, and you'll get a lot more people that are attracted to that. And so we just started posting cases. I actually just started it as a free platform to keep my before and after photos and surgical photos. Mm-hmm. And it just kind of took off, and people were surprisingly, to me, really liked it. For a long time, we would do these little, 10, 20, 30-second extraction Saturday videos. And, it's kind of like a poor man version of Dr. Pimple Popper. All these closet people that like these pimples being popped and wouldn't admit it. It was like all these people, dental and non-dental related, that were like, oh, it's so like, what's the word? It was so gratifying to watch the tooth be extracted. I'm like, okay, they really liked it. So, we just we posted a lot of cases. We had a lot of tips to learn from, and we were just honest and had fun with it, and people really enjoyed it.
Give the people what they want, right? Extracting teeth. Hopefully you crunch some and have some
that's how I named the company Restore Smiles. It was actually my Instagram tag first. I was thinking of Instagram tags, and I kind of really liked that one, and then that hence Restore Smiles, continuing education company came about it shortly after.
Well, that's a great name, right? Because that's what everyone wants. They want their smile to be restored to what it looks like that made them happy initially, right? So whether it's 5 years down the road or 20 years back, they want to restore that smile where they had their kids or
hope.
they did
It's much nicer to not have teeth now than it was in the past. That's for sure. A lot more options to restore them.
So you are going to be speaking at ADI 2024 this year, and I know this podcast will come out before that. And so, tell us, what are you going to teach people about at ADI 2024?
Yeah, so I don't know. Should I keep it a surprise?
No, tell us. We want to know.
So
And by the way, you're going to, I think, co-host a couple of panel discussions too.
Oh yeah,
so you're going to be helping with that.
Yeah, thank you for that.
So that'll be fun. So we're going to have fun, right?
Yeah, we're always going to have fun.
Okay.
But
So
I believe if my memory serves me correctly, it's going to be like GBR, GTR kind of ingredients. Ingredients for success in those type of large grafting procedures. So we're going to go over a lot of really cool cases, some good fundamentals in terms of flaps and incisions and grafting and certain protocols with growth factors that really can get you more predictable results, and some very cool cases we'll go over. So it should be fun.
Yeah. Amazing. So it's awesome you're going to come out and speak. So last year you co-hosted the entire 2-day event with me, which was a super huge blast. It was a lot of fun finding you on stage.
But just to speak, I must say.
You did a great job, by the way. You did a great job, by the way. So
I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I just let Julieanne talk most of the time, and then I was, that's it.
What do you think I'm doing? I mean, that's my success is just letting Julieanne run with it.
Not a bad idea.
He's speaking at ADI this year too. So for those listeners who are not familiar, ADI2024.com is where you get your tickets, and it's a 2-day lineup of some of the most influential speakers in dentistry, and they are amazing. They are really, literally some of the best trainers that there are.
Great conference.
Yeah, it's really incredible, super good, fun conference. Definitely get your tickets and come out. I think it's December 6th and 7th this year. Yep. And
the docs that help put it together are just the nicest people on planet Earth.
Yeah, and who are the ones presenting this podcast, which is awesome to be a collaboration with them.
The big thing about that and that course as well, and I know this is turning into a love fest, but that's okay, is that it is about community. No, it is about community. That's what I wanted to bring about, right? It's clinical, it's learning, it's community, and you saw that the ADI 2023 last year. I'm going to see it this year as well. And that's why I enjoyed it as well from my vantage point, is it is about those conversations and things that happen during lunch, that happen after lunch, happen at dinner. And that's what's unique about this conference is it's all about community. It's not just standing and listening to lectures and just being bored to death. It's truly about learning and creating community with positive, influential dentists and companies. And so that's my plug for it, and very glad that I'll be able to attend as well. And I did have one thing to say about the secret of, you said Dr. Huss, there wasn't a secret to success, and there is. And you've mentioned it throughout this podcast because you do care. And again, and you see it in what you teach and how you interact with people. And so, it's not necessarily how much you learn, because there's, you can add a bunch of letters and things to the end of your surname. You can go to all these courses. But at the end of the day, you have to care about something. You have to do it at your best ability and willingness to see others succeed. And so I guess that is what I attribute. Obviously, you're very well learned. You take your craft, but again, it's having that innate sense of caring and wanting to do well by those that come to your course and those patients that you serve. And at the end of the day, why we're all in dentistry is about the patients, right? The patient experience and treating more patients better. So that is what I attribute your success for. or a lot of it with your clinical skills as well. But I think it comes obviously from the heart and from the mind, from you caring about outcomes. So that's my 2 cents
For
on that.
sure. So, Dr. Huss, what's next for you? Any big projects, any secret plans that you don't want anyone to know that you can tell us?
No, no,
Nobody's listening.
no big projects, no secrets. Just want to continue to get out there and continue to make more awareness of Restored Smiles and what we do. Because the more people we can influence and the more people we can affect, I just think we have a bigger impact on in dentistry and ultimately on patients. So I think that's the most rewarding thing for me is I only can do so many things in my office, and the more doctors that we're able to help improve what they're already doing well and to be that much better, I just feel we have more impact on patients as a whole. So just more awareness and continuing to grow.
Love
I think
it.
I have great swag.
Oh, you do have some great swag.
Let me swag. Let me see.
Well, I want some because I wore it. I have some socks of yours. I got a pop socket. So I want some more Restored Smile swag.
Oh my gosh.
Breast cancer awareness scrub cap, baby.
That's awesome. Good for you. See, always incorporating ways
we got some sweet swag for sure. We got some
You
nice
do.
trucker
So why
hats.
don't you point that out if just to go for the swag if nothing else, right?
So Mike, any last questions for Dr. Huss before we get his party?
Yeah, no, obviously it's always good to see Dr. Huss. We go way back, and I appreciate your time and getting on this new venture with Julieanne and myself. Again, it's about influential dentists, the dental community, uplifting everyone. You exude all those qualities. So, I do appreciate you, and we've had a good time throughout the years. I guess I just want to say, one other thing is that continue to do what you're doing. I do recommend folks to follow you on Instagram, to look you up, to look you on the website. And you have a lot of different courses from single implant to bone grafting to full arch, live surgery, and others. So I obviously going to give you a plug, and I don't give plugs to everyone. It's only the people that I do think, because that's where I have my reputation as well. But keep doing what you're doing, man. Always good to see you. Keep sharing, and we'll go have a steak dinner one of these days soon. And look forward to coming out to the ranch here sometime this year or early next for sure.
Thanks, Keeter.
Yes. So we really appreciate everyone tuning in. I'm going to have you tell everybody where they can find you one last time, and they can follow definitely our podcast. Certainly, they can find me at Spelling It, SPELLINGIT on Instagram, and then certainly check out where you can get tickets for ADI 2024 at ADI2024.com with American Dental Institute. But where can they reach out to you if they're interested in finding you?
Yeah, so on Instagram at Restored Smiles. So Restored with a D, Smiles with an S on Instagram, or our website is restoredsmilescourses.com. It's got the rest of there's a couple other courses this year, and then 2025 schedule's already out on there. So we'd love to see you at Restored Smiles Ranch and take things to the next level.
Thank you so much for being on the show. We can't wait to do our, continue this, and we'll have to have you on another show at some point before long.
For sure. Thank you so much, you guys. That was really nice of you.
Yeah, thank you.